And give it a real good bashing. I learned a lot.
I do like to try and capture alien sources.
But for Christ's sake, people,
You'd have to say a different one because you couldn't see
Isle
it.
upon isle of crap.
Excuse me.
Dum-de-dum.
Cross my heart up to it. I can't really state that, can I?
Steve, how did you get to be an ace in the hand?
Why?
Well, funny you should say that, because just walking past Euros one day and these two strange men dragged me in. No, really. What about that? Well, funny thing that I was looking for an advert. I answered it. I've got 2 weeks of pondering on it anyway. I answered it to Alex on the phone, and he gave me a few bits of advice on what to do, you know, open mic things, this, that and all that. And took my number, so I'll give it a call. Then I'll bar magic about 4 weeks later and gets a phone call. Can I come down? I went, yeah, no problem. So that was it.
What made you start playing and when was this?
And my brother-in-law used to play in a band years ago, and he once walked in one day, left school, went to work for about 15, something like that, and he brought this all in pieces, all broke down in pieces. He says, can you paint me that? I said, what colour? He says, any colour you like. So I took it to work, got it all spray painted, brought it back. And in front of my eyes, he brought it out with him, and he actually put the whole thing together, put the neck on, pickups in, electrics, machine edge, tuned it all up, plugged it in, and that first strum at the E string, that way, I'd just totally, utterly gone. It just shivers all the way up from my toes, right back of my neck. And from that, really, I bought a cheap bass. Well, I said cheap bass in them days, £18, it was a red off and a P bass. Worth a fortune now. Bought that and an AC 30 Vox. That was 15 quid, I think a bit more than that now. And then he just showed me a few bits of rock and roll bits on it, and it turned out he used to play in a band called Vanity Fair, back in 60s band, and he actually played on a record, Hitching a Ride. So we kept practicing, and that was that really.
Which people or styles of music influence you?
Well, it's old-fashioned, it's 60s, 70s type things. Listen to Radio Caroline a lot. Well, I say a lot. They used to come on at tea time. I think about 7 o'clock. It used to come on at night time. Pirate Ship. They used to play out Black Sabbath, things like that. And there's also at Western Park, just down the road from the, 'cause I used to live at Broom Hill. They sent road opposite Children's Hospital. Used to have some bands in there as well on Sundays. And they were sort of rockish bands, that Black Sabbath type thing. It's when bass players stopped doing dum-de-dum and actually started playing the lead breaks, and that just totally amazed me. And from then on, it's, you know, bands like Black Sabbath and so on.
Are there any memorable moments from your musical career that stick out in your mind?
No, not really. Everyone I've done, they always good. I mean, at the minute now I'm enjoying this one, Ace in Hand. That's some brilliant gigs with it.
What do you think is important in today's world?
I ain't got a clue. I ain't got a clue, but I wish people would stop using mobile phones where they shouldn't. It's in, you're queuing in a shop and somebody's on their mobile phone, they're trying to get the person behind their toes trying to talk to them, and they're just totally oblivious. People walking, headphones on, earpieces in. I mean, Christ knows how many people don't get killed, I've no idea. Bike riders. For Christ's sake, people, come on, don't use your phones when you shouldn't do.
Mike, how did you get to be an ace in the hand?
I wanted to play a bit more often, so I put the word around. Anyway, I got a phone call from Alex, who told me he was in the same sort of position, and I'd worked with Alex about 10 years ago in the same organisation. I knew him, and he was a brilliant guitarist, so I jumped at the chance.
What made you start playing and when was this?
In 1964, I think it was, I saw the Dave Clark Five singing Bits and Pieces on Top of the Pops. And this is a song that starts off, the one I never heard before, with a drummer actually starting playing the song. It goes like this. Hold of a pair of my mum's knitting needles and a cardboard box and started trying to bash away on it, trying to copy this riff. Couldn't do it. Anyway, my father was very perceptive and he said to me, "Do you want to play the drums?" "Yes," I said. I jumped at the chance. He said, "Well," he said, "I'll pay for you to go do lessons. You've got to learn properly." So I did. And 50 odd years later, I'm still bloody learning.
Which people or styles of music influence you?
Well, actually, I've got to blame John Peel for a lot of this because as a teenager in the 60s, I enjoyed listening to his Top Gear program where he introduced you to all these different types of music and particularly what was termed progressive rock. I really enjoyed all those different styles of new music that you didn't normally hear on the radio, on normal mainstream radio anyway. Also, then later on, again, I blame Top of the Pops because I saw the Jimi Hendrix Experience for the very first time on the TV on Top of the Pops singing Hey Joe. Well, it was absolutely gobsmacked, not just by Jimmy and his playing and the whole look of him, but by the drummer Mitch Mitchell. Mitch just didn't keep the beat. He played all over the drums, over, under, sideways, down, absolutely incredible, across the beat, under the beat, all the way. Completely different style of drum. I'd never seen anything like that. As soon as the program was finished, I dashed into the front room where my own kit was and gave it a real good bashing. I learned a lot from that and I really enjoyed playing that style of music as well.
Are there any memorable moments from your musical career that stick out in your mind?
In 1967, just before I was turning 15, some guys came to my house from a local brass band, asking if I would play for them in a concert they were doing to celebrate St David's Day. St David's, the patron saint of Wales. It's a big concert that the concerts they have around about the 1st of March. They came to me because I was one of the few drummers around who could read music. That's why they came to me. Anyway, I wasn't all that keen, to be honest with you. But then they told me where the venue was. It was the Royal Albert Hall in London. So actually knowing that, I really jumped at the chance. And it was amazing when I got there because there was the band and it was also a choir and the stage was laid out in tiers. And I was sitting on my own in the very top tier of the staging, right underneath what is the big pipe organ of the Albert Hall. And to get on stage, I was the first one on there. I had to walk up and walk through all these different sort of seating all the way up until I got and sat behind me drums, and it was absolutely fabulous positions. You could see everything going on in the hall, and you could see the sea of faces, you know, surrounding this semicircle. About 7,000 people is it holding it. Tremendous memories, that is. Can't remember much about the concert, to be honest with you, but I can remember I did it and I played the Albert Hall. That was the first time.
What do you think is important in today's world?
I'm currently on a diet for medical reasons, and one of the things that really sort of grinds my gears, as they say, is when I go into Asda and I see aisle upon aisle of crap. Basically, I've never seen so many packets of crisps in my life. Why do you need so many packets of crisps? Eat an apple. Or Coca-Cola and all these soft drinks full of sugar, not very good for you at all. I don't want to preach to anybody, but when I go and see this stuff, I'm thinking, well, all it does is make you, in the long term, it sort of makes you ill, to be honest with you. Everybody complains about there not enough money for the National Health Service, but actually a lot of the time they spend on illnesses caused by people's bad diet. So eat better, folks, that's what I say. Eat better.
Alex, how did you get to be an ace in the hand?
I've mostly been the one who put bands together. Joining other people's bands never seemed to quite work for me, and letting people bring what they've got to a band seems to help with the creative process. I'd seen Mike's ad on the internet somewhere. He'd kind of got the same motives. He was in a band that wasn't doing enough. And I knew him for a long time ago actually. We used to work at the same community organisation in quite different departments, but I liked his work ethic. And so we got together, had a chat, decided it was worth having a crack at it. Ran through a few numbers, decided on what we might try out, and we advertised for a bass player. So that meanwhile there's this bloke Steve who'd been in touch, and he was still available, so the three of us got together, and it was a very quiet sort of event. It wasn't like some fireworks thing, like we just seemed to like ease into it really gently, and there was lots of nodding and oh that worked. About May 2016 Steve comes along, joins the band, and that's it, we're just ready to go.
What made you start playing and when was this?
Well, I'm from a musical family, so it's probably no surprise that I picked something up, having tried various different things. One of my favourite games on the school playground was Rolling Stones. A lot of the other lads would be the Beatles, but I'd come along, I'd be the Rolling Stones going now, 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 and that was like, you know, I was just totally knocked out by that sound. But it was after a pretty much life-threatening motorcycle accident. I was lying in hospital with the hospital headphones on. And I was listening to the posthumous release of Jimi Hendrix's Voodoo Child, Slight Return in brackets, and I thought, oh, if I could play guitar like that, if I could learn to play like that, that would be something. So that sort of moment made me think, oh, I must get a guitar, I must try and get a band together.
Which people or styles of music influence you?
Oh, so many different influences. But to state the major ones, I suppose, Jimi Hendrix, Eric Clapton, Jimmy Page when it comes to riffs really, but then you get into people like Ravi Shankar, the sort of broad swathe of Irish folk music, especially fiddle and pipes, Cracky Rory Gallagher, Gary Moore, it just goes on and on and on. But I do like to try and capture alien sources and apply them to guitar. So I'll listen to a saxophone break or a bit of Ravi Shankar on sitar, and I'll work it out and see if it sounds interesting or useful on the guitar. And I suppose that's kind of what creates my style, if I've got such a thing.
Are there any memorable moments from your musical career that stick out in your mind?
Well, there's always something going off with the band. It's a bit hard to sort of pin it down, but I mean, I've played to quite large audiences. I can't remember where exactly. I think there was a couple of festivals that I did. Well, my first act was with some girls from school, and we did sort of an old people's home and that sort of thing. And we got praise. We were having loads of fun and we got praise for it as well. And I thought, this is all right. And I was playing banjo then. And the first day I went busking, that was just brilliant. I just could not believe how much money I made. It was far in excess of what I'd been earning in 1 hour. It was far in excess of what I'd earned in a week as a motorcycle mechanic. I suppose playing places like Sheffield's Boardwalk when it's been utterly packed and my band was headlining. But wherever you play, it's kind of the audience that make it. If you've got people in there and they stay and they really enjoy what you're doing, then that's made it enormously worthwhile, regardless of how many people there are, how big an event it is. You know, they are things like milestones, I suppose. But there you go, you fill your cup off your audience if they want you back.
What do you think is important in today's world?
Sheesh. I just ask people to get away from their anger and just let the heat diffuse and just think about what it is they're doing. And likewise, there's a lot of people who are just too afraid or too wrapped up in their own lives who need kind of warming through and waking up. He says from his lofty couch house. But Yeah, there's so many people who are paranoid, and there's only actually very, very few what you'd call nasty people, although they're often just sick somehow or deluded. Sadly, I suppose it's like corporations and governments who are meant to be part of the solution, but in actual fact they become the driving engine of the problems, as it were. A lot of people say, why can't we learn from history? But I don't think everybody has that opportunity. Not everybody's life is occurring in a situation whereby we have access to a history that can teach us not to go to war and not to argue about stuff. So what will happen in the future will happen, but I have no idea what it is. And I don't think anybody really can tell you. You know, we've got about as much idea as the President of the United States of America. I can't really take a lot of people who sort of say, why can't other people learn from this, that or the other, don't realise how lucky they are. I suppose the bottom line is I just wish people would try and think, but I mean, how do you get people to do that anyway? Catch a 22.